Hello, everybody.
Hello everyone, how you doing?
Hello, everyone in YouTube. And I was going to read out some names at the start, but we've got 38 people watching already, and it's mental.
41, I say 41.
Oh, God, it's 41 again. Up 12 likes. If you do like free giveaways, give us a thumbs up.
Yes,
Because it's
I
the only
hope you
hope we've got.
give us a thumbs up.
It's the only hope we've got of getting thumbs up. If we give you stuff, you like us.
Oh, Valentine's in, and the fat nerd's in as well.
We've got tons of people online tonight, and I was whilst you were getting ready, Robin, I was asking people, what do they want to see from us? What do they want? What do they want that we can do? What can we give them? And we've had loads of comments and stuff in there.
We did, it was good, it was good. I hope you took copious notes.
I have taken no notes, but it's all recorded. It's all all
Excellent.
in there for posterity, so I can.
Ready for posterity. Yeah, there were some good ideas in there. I like the idea of doing some sort of more wide-ranging history of Warhammer pieces and player etiquette and stuff. That was a good one. That was interesting.
You got some praise for your parents' guide video. Even the person watching it who wasn't a parent and already pretty much knew a lot about the whole thing was still praising it. So that's good too.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah, I'm hoping to do more of those as and when the new. I was going to talk about this a bit later, but as and when the new kind of beginner sets that they announced this week. So there were going to be like 3 levels, weren't there? I can't remember, I've forgotten what they were called now. I should get the page up ready. I'll do that and we'll talk about it later. But yes, I'm hoping we'll do more of those because I did enjoy doing it and it was useful. But I've kind of, when I realised quite what a not starter set Indomitus was and how difficult it was going to get hold of, I kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit. It seemed a bit pointless doing a parents guide because parents take, they're like ships turning in the night.
Yeah.
It took a long time to get going and build up a head of steam. So by the time they actually got around to deciding they were going to buy that for the child, the Indomitus would be over. So, but if there's new starter sets coming, that's a game changer.
Wow, up to 53 viewers now and 37 likes. I'm going to keep saying how many views we've got because this is going to be the highest we'll ever get.
Yes, yeah, and let's give another one away next week.
It's just, well, yeah, maybe if we just do a giveaway every week.
I'm not sure it's worth it.
Not sure the sales we get. Well, it depends. I mean, if you give away like a start collecting box, that's like 40 quid.
Yeah, but we won't get that many anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no. There was one. Somebody, CM Vandenberg said that he'd like more perspective pieces, history of the game. I think you mentioned that. What's good player etiquette? That's not a bad one to talk about. And maybe we'll do an episode on that one. And room interpretation. We are rubbish at that. Because the problem we have is we sit there and we go, here, why don't we talk about this room? And then we think, who cares what we have to say about that?
yeah, we're really yes. I know some people have built their entire livelihoods on spouting rumours and spinning yarns, but I just can't do it.
and also part of me just thinks, well, we'll find out in a couple of weeks. So I mean, I could sit here and just talk about it, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and there's that, and then I think, well, who cares about what we have to say is another thing. But also, especially when it comes to the underworld side of things, GW are just bang on releasing all the information really early. It's just
Well, it
like
gets leaked, doesn't it?
yeah, it either gets leaked or they just put it all out themselves. They're just like, here's all the information on this warband, here's all the fighter cards, and here's all the.
Oh, I see about the Warhammer Underworld. Yes, yeah, they do.
Well, especially in that, yeah.
Nowadays they have. And then when we leaked a photo, we got an email saying, "You can't show that yet." It's like, well, you've shown literally anything. There's everything. There's no surprises.
Oh, that was our Wormspat.
Yeah.
Wormspat Hrothgorn game. We just took a picture of the board. You couldn't even see anything except the models, and they'd already released all the warband cards and everything. They're like, "No, don't do that."
Yeah. A slight slap on the wrist. There's a couple of interesting comments. I don't know where the Ancient Sigmar socks came from, but I kind of like the idea of that. I can't remember most Sigmar socks is a sort of oath that Brian Blessed would announce.
Buy Sigmar socks.
Exactly. Elliot Readings is my favourite comment so far. I've got to admit, I'm not the biggest Warhammer player, but my brother loves it, but couldn't be here in the live stream because he's in bed. So here I am.
That's some brotherly love for you.
That is. So yeah, hopefully.
Does your brother have to get up early? Is that what you've got yourself for? It's true, yeah. And somebody else said, Gazbagger, well, yes, you are entered into the draw, so don't worry about that. Red Rose Wargaming, hello, Red Rose.
Are we getting more elves though? Yes, Sam Vanderberg, we are getting more elves for sure.
In one way, shape or form.
But there's definitely going to be more. And
Sometime the
Lumineth
next.
are going to be in the next Beastgrave box, whatever it's going to be called.
I mean, yeah, I think there could be a warband that will come out next.
Yeah, I reckon. There's a rumour. Yes, Let's Talk War Games magazine says, "Hi guys, a lot of rumour channels are pretty much identical most of the time. Get a large number of views. Yeah, it is weird. Speculation for whatever reason gets people love it, and I'm not quite sure why. So we should do more of that.
Yeah, I think we should, and it doesn't take a lot. If I'm honest, to speculate wildly doesn't take a lot of effort. So maybe we should try a little bit more to get some more.
If it doesn't take more effort, we're in.
Exactly, yeah. Quien le dio un pincel a Ratman. I'm not sure what that means. I want to find out what that means now. Is that Spanish or Portuguese or something? It's asked if we have a Discord server. We do have a Discord server, but it's only open to our Patreon supporters. But if you do join us on Patreon, you will get access to our
Patreon, Discord.
Our Discord and also our Warhammer Underworlds Online monthly sort of tournament and all that kind of stuff. And all our matches a week early and ad free. So, you know.
That's just at the $2 level. There are better levels as well.
Quien le dio un pincel a Ratman is who gave Ratman a brush. Brilliant. Your name is in Spanish. I think I just guessed that, and it's who gave a Ratman a brush. I like that. I like that one. It's a good one. Now, obviously, how many people gone? 59. Obviously, I think about 50 of you are probably here for the draw. So I don't want to disappoint you too much. We are going to talk about some other stuff first before we do the draw. I practically hear down the internet waves 60 people going, "Oh, for God's sakes."
61. Just out of interest, who has got Indomitus and who's doing what with it? Anybody got any exciting things they're doing with their Indomitus?
Yes.
Taking it out on a date. Of course, there's nowhere to go. Well, you can go to the cinema now with it. I guess you
can go to the drive-in cinema. I went to the drive-in cinema.
If you take your box with you, you don't have to social distance, I guess.
That's true. Oh, sorry, I just saw Elliot's reason. He doesn't have to get up early. He's just 11. That's
you might be young, yeah.
That's a good reason.
Well done, Elliot.
Yes. I think somebody else said that Matt said if he wins, he wants to pass it on to Elliot as well. So there you go. You're in for a double chance of winning. Somebody else said if they won, they only want the Space Marines and they'll give away the Necrons. So it's gonna be great fun.
That's nice, yeah.
And this is the side of the community that I love, when you get people, and you see it in lots of different ways, and it's just general humanity. I think is that, like, you read a story about somebody who was at a store or something, and their car got broken into, all their stuff got nicked, and then somebody comes onto the community and says, my mate lost his 10,000 point Space Marine army, and then the community just gets together and just gets him a new army and stuff like that. And I really love that side of the hobby. I love that side of, especially in Underworlds, I've found, but then I haven't been into anything that's not been an Underworlds tournament, so I couldn't say about others. But that's one of the things I love about the tournaments, is that you can go there and it's just nearly always just really nice people, all just getting on, having a laugh. Yeah,
that's human nature as well, I think, isn't it? People, we do like to stick together. So you hear that there was the really sort of famous case of those railway modelers who had their display smashed up when they were going to display it at an event, and some people broke into the sports hall or whatever and smashed it up, and they raised a ridiculous amount of money, or people raised a ridiculous amount of money to buy get new stuff. And obviously it doesn't replace the time and effort that went into it, but that's that community thing of how we all know how we would feel if somebody destroyed our army, and most of us are lovely human beings. There are a few on the fringes who are a bit more less so, but most of us are all lovely. And so when something like that, it really hits close to home, I think, of how painful it will be.
Yeah.
When somebody broke into the garage, they probably think, Christ, who's broken in here and destroyed their stuff? Let's leave them some money.
Let's sort it out for them, because fucking me, this place is a tip.
Yeah. That's what my house is like. My whole house is like that.
Pajamas Gagarin asked who won. We haven't done the draw yet. We're going to do the draw probably, I guess, around 11 o'clock. So everyone's going to have to put up with us for a little while until we do the draw. But I think it gives people plenty of time to drop in if they haven't had a chance to join the chat and stuff yet. And generally, just chinwag with the rest of us.
There are various people saying they don't want bits of the box here.
Oh, God.
So
right.
If that's the case, then we can possibly, if you do win it, you don't want it all. We can sort of send different bits of it out to places, possibly.
Yes.
Possibly. I'm making that off the top of my head, but that's something we could possibly do.
I don't see why not. I think we could definitely, because obviously we're only going to draw the winner who's in the chat. If you're not in the chat, then whoever's if we draw a name and they're not in this chat, they're not going to win it, because we've done it before where we just said, okay, we'll draw the winner and we'll announce it, and we had to do it like 2-3 times. It just got.
When you say not in the chat, you just mean they have to be able to type that they're here.
Yes.
At the point at which, yeah.
Yes.
Rather than have to say anything yet.
Yeah, don't say anything right now. But when we do the draw, we're going to announce the name. We're going to give whoever it is about a minute to say, I'm here. Don't draw it again. And if we don't get anybody step forwards, we'll keep drawing until we get somebody. So if we do get someone step forwards and say, I've won it, I only want the Space Marines though, then we can do a second draw then maybe for the Necrons part. I don't think we can cut it down too much more than that though, because or else we have to start trying to dissect sprues and stuff. Unless it's like, I don't want the rule book, I just want the Marines or something like that.
Yeah, I think it'll have to be rule book, Marines, and Necrons. I think that's about as much as we can go. Rather, I only want the heroes.
And Daniel Wilson has summarised it beautifully. If you're not in the chat, then tough shat.
Lovely.
I mean, we've had a load of people put comments on the thing who are saying, if I win it, I'm going to give it to this person, or if I win it, I'm going to give it to my local gaming club, and all that kind of thing, which is just really good. I just love hearing that, because it's just, again, it's that human nature of, I'm going to look out for other people because I'm doing okay and I'm happy to help somebody else in that situation, which is really nice.
Matt says, what about the transfer sheet? I'm going to take them all off, put them on a big bit of plastic and send it to somebody.
They'd be like, awesome, thanks for that. But you have to make sure you varnish it first, so they can't then remove the transfer again. Can you remove it?
Score through them all.
Just because.
You see what I said? We're all lovely.
We are all lovely, apart from
my
that.
head's disappeared now. I've set up. I'm going to try and move my camera.
Slump, man. Slump. Tears. Oh, God, you're going to move your camera. Oh, God, here it goes. It's going to be awful. No, you okay? Yeah, you're fine.
Yay.
Can you see my camera in your chat on Skype?
Sorry? No.
No? Okay, I don't know why that never picked up.
Your face, you mean? I can't see your camera.
Oh, there we go.
But I obviously can't see your face either. I can only see it in one place.
My beautiful face.
So, I mean, I was asking people before we started what kind of things could we do that they might be interested in. Most people said, like, rumours stuff, more general stuff like etiquette and things, and stuff like that. Nico's going to give the other half to his best friend, which is always nice to hear. Just a reminder to everybody, obviously everybody's watched the video and the giveaway and stuff, whoever wins will have to pay the postage.
Yep.
So that is one thing.
Unless you live up the road.
Yeah, unless it's really close or it's really, really cheap, then maybe. But yeah, so people were suggesting things like giveaways. Not giveaways, nobody suggested giveaways, sorry. Although they probably thought it. More dwarves, somebody said. I can't remember who that was now. Terrain giveaways always good. And I have mentioned that our Necromunda, our first game of Necromunda, will be coming out, I think, next week. I think this week it's our follow-up Gits versus Banshees game.
Oh, okay. That was a good game.
It was a very good game.
It's a good game. The Necromunda I'm really enjoying that, so I'm looking forward to getting into that in earnest. We've played a couple of games. I think we made a couple of mistakes in them, but really looking forward to getting those games out and playing more of it. I'm building up my warband or gang.
Yeah, I think I've built both of my gangs ready to go, which is going to be great fun.
How heavy is that hefty box, though? It's very heavy. I nearly broke my wrist lifting it up.
It's hefty. And Robin has strong wrists.
I know most of you have seen it, but it weighs an absolute ton.
Here's the box you've seen a billion pictures of so far.
It's the book. It's the book that's heavy. If you live a long way away and you don't want the book, then the postage won't be anywhere near as much.
Probably save yourself a small fortune.
Yeah, a signed AOS T-shirt would be pretty sweet. Yeah, we could do that.
What, as a giveaway? Who would want that? I kind of assume anything we write on will just reduce the value.
Yeah, I did think we could sign the box, the Indomitus box, but then again, I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Yeah, because people are going to get that. Oh, awesome! I was going to sell this on, but now some twat scribbled all over it. Brilliant.
I used to work in a bookshop, and sometimes authors would come in and sign their books, which was great. But it wasn't. These weren't ones that got organised signings. These were just random authors. I mean, I assume they were the person that said they were, but they would come in and say, "Oh, just before as a famous." He wasn't that famous when I worked in the bookshop, and he came and said, "Oh, can I sign the books?" I said, "Well, yeah, that'd be great." Then somebody told me once they've signed them, the shop can't send them back. So effectively, they're sold. So if the author signs them, there's no returns or anything.
So what I need to do is, if I ever get a book come out in the shop, I need to go in and sign them all for free.
Sign as many as you can.
Just there all day signing books. No one wants your book. Yeah, but you can't take it back now. Every book I sign is a sale. Somebody did say,
sign sprues. I like it. If I win, sign the box. Okay.
Yeah. We'll offer. Yeah. Somebody did say painting guides. I don't think we're the people to do painting guides for the most part.
I saw that comment. Yeah,
it's nice for people to suggest it, but
that said, I am going to do a Muppets guide for painting Star Wars Legion soon, because I've come up with a super easy way of doing it.
You've managed to sign the Muppets. Holy shit! How do we get them on board?
Yes, Animal is a terrible painter.
Somebody asked, are we going to be doing a campaign system for Necromunda? Yeah, we're going to do the standard, it's called Dominion, or Domination, whatever it was, campaign. So a regular campaign where you have the 2 decks of cards and you pick out your different areas and stuff like that. And we will be playing with 4 warbands. So I'm going to be playing with Goliath and Cawdor, and you're playing with...
Sorry, I'm reading the comments. Escher and Dulac. The 2 people were talking about Star Wars Legion Muppets edition. That's what I'm thinking about that. But actually, because it wouldn't be impossible now because Disney own the rights to both the Muppets and Star Wars. So it could happen.
It's not a million miles away from being if they thought they could make money off it, they'd do it, right? They would. Yeah,
Muppet Star Wars.
To be fair,
space, it's just a step away, isn't it?
I think I would possibly take Muppet Star Wars more seriously than some of the later Star Wars films.
That's reasonable. Kermit is practically Yoda. What he is. He is.
True. That's true. I think depending on some
new
of the...
Escher models aren't out yet. I don't think. I don't think they've even announced when they're coming out. I'll probably get some of those, but it depends how quickly we progress, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we've got the core that we have our 4 main warbands all painted up, so they will all be painted, which was a big thing that we wanted to make sure we could do to make sure that that we had the right level of quality on our videos. I mean, there won't be any walls and stuff in there yet, but we are going to have, we're using all the stuff out of the box to start with, so somebody who's just getting into Necromunda will be able to see what it's like straight from the box type thing. And the first couple of games that we play are just getting used to all the rules, because there's a lot of rules to get used to when you come from Underworlds, so are feeling our way. But after about 2-3 games, we're going to then jump into a whole sort of tournament campaign system. Yeah,
I'm still reading the comments, so I'm not listening to what you're saying at all.
That's right. While I'm talking, you read comments. Whilst you're talking, I'll read comments.
Just as long as you don't ask me a question. Elliot Reading said he would love to see the Lord of the Rings as a Muppet movie. That would be pretty good. I mean, I'd settle for the Princess Bride, to be honest, with Muppets.
Have you watched the Princess Bride one that all the celebrities did from home?
I haven't yet. Have you watched it?
I haven't, no, but the small clips I've seen of it looks brilliant.
Down and watch it.
I don't know who decided to do that, but they were a genius, a stone cold genius.
It's got the trailer's got Carl Reiner in it, who's now died. Really sad.
It's got so many people in it. It's just crazy.
As you read it, Josh says, "Are we reading right and doing the draw at 11? He'll be driving home from work then. But on the off chance I do win, just know that I do exist, and I'll be checking in before 11:30. All right, Josh. We've got you.
Okay, Josh. Okay, we'll let you off on that one. We can let you off on that one. That's okay. We just didn't want 155 people saying, I'm going to be there, but just a little bit late. And maybe it was just because we wanted to see, a viewer count hit 3 figures for once on our feed. But we figured,
It's to avoid having the box in 3 weeks' time. Still nobody's claimed it.
Yeah. I was hoping that we will have a lot of people who are really interested in getting this anyway.
Elliot's got to find a whole new family. And now, is that the brother who's in bed who wants is going to get 40k?
Yeah.
Elliot?
Get a pillow.
If it is, he can't have it.
Get a pillow. Just put it over his head. He'll flail around a little bit, but it's okay. Just keep it there for a minute or two, and
sorry. I don't know how old you are, Elliot, but we have got a spare room.
Robin will take anybody in who is persecuted for their love of Princess Bride.
Yeah.
And frankly, if you have a family that don't appreciate Princess Bride, then run
It's
away.
time to just go off and try and find your fortune. I think maybe become a pirate.
Yep. What else have people suggested? Someone suggested VJ said try and get the old game in the train and use that old train. I mean, that old train was brilliant, but trying to get hold of one of the old games these days is like you're just burning money. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it's not like we'll get the new games.
That is true. Although GW they did come out and they did say, oh right, okay, we'll do a print to order service, which is kind of what they should have done in the first place. I think they should have just said, you know what, from day one when they first announced it, they should have just said, you know, it's going to go up for pre-sale on this day, and it's going to be a buy to, you know, print to order or whatever you want to call it, buy to order, or you know, it's just going to be you order it and we'll print a box up for you and send it to you. And I think it would have stopped some of the scalping. It would have stopped some of the panic buying that people endured because they were like, if I don't get in there and buy 3 boxes.
Been on that sooner. I think they must have known it's going to happen. Yeah. And then it was odd how late they took them to announce the price as well. That was frustrating.
Yeah.
Would I take in a tantric skink priest companion? Just checking if I drunk too much already. Damn my age, it's a mug. If they like the Princess Bride and they were in a family or a monastery that didn't, then yes.
Without question. The logo shows in a video. Which logo is that? I mean, Wartime would be quite interesting as another expansion because that gives you like Necromunda for AOS.
If they brought that out, I would really hope we'd get hold of that and play it. But they don't seem to be that hot on their kind of complex campaign rules now. They're quite fluffy these days.
Yeah, they've gone for.
Not sure if fluffy is the right word, but they're different. I mean, I have to confess, Wartime appeared in that period where I didn't play, so I don't know very much about it. But I kind of get the impression that all their latest narrative stuff is quite different to how Wartime works.
For good reasons in some cases. CM Vanderberg says, have we ever played it? Wartime. I used to play Wartime many, many years ago, a different lifetime ago. But yeah, I haven't played that in a long time. But it's a bit like Necromunda, so there's some really positive bits about it, and I like the again that narrative campaign style. But I think like you say, they've gone a bit Warcry with a lot of it in the or Kill Team, that kind of thing. It's like there's not a lot of advancement or progress in between in a lot of things. Necromunda, I think, is probably the most involved campaign system that they've done in the last decade, possibly.
Yeah, well, I think there is a reasonable case for saying they don't need to, because the people who really want to do that kind of stuff now, the community is much easier to get together, and they put them together and they create their own rules and they build what they want. Whereas I think that if they try and build their own campaign system, it only pleases half the people, if that, and everybody else says it hasn't got this, it's too much or it's too little or whatever. And I think in some ways they're better just giving a very light framework, and then people can bolt on whatever they want.
Yeah, and people come up with all kinds of crazy stuff online that GW then don't have to put all the effort into.
Right. Jeff has suggested that it might be the Necromunda computer game, because they also that team made Wartime.
Oh yeah, could be.
So it could have been that.
Colin Yuska asked, what do we think of the 3 new models they just announced? Which 3 new models were they? Or do you mean the 3 new boxes that they just announced for Indomitus?
There was a video today with like teaser things in, I think.
Of 3 new models?
3 new models, yeah, I think so. I think I was looking at it on my phone while going up the stairs to put my children to bed, so I couldn't tell if it was 3 models or not. But
anybody got a link? Stick it in the description. I'd like to have a look at that. Could do a reaction video. Who wants to see reaction videos? I was tempted to do a reaction video for that Dark Tide, but it would just be me going so it wouldn't really be that interesting.
I don't know where it is. I've just gone to the Warhammer community page, not there. But I saw it on Facebook, I think. Anyway.
Necromunda is a skirmish game.
I imagined it.
Joe Binghamman says Necromunda is a skirmish game. It is. I'm
What
not
is
sure.
Necromunda, by the way? So Necromunda is it's going to be a video game, a Warhammer 40,000 video game, but it's a tabletop skirmish game set in a 40k era city with kind of just different gangs of thugs basically beating each other up, and they're all themed.
Yeah, Wolf and Gaz, Vermin. If Darktide's anything like Vermintide, which I'm 99% sure it's going to be like Vermintide or Left 4 Dead, it will be great, and I think I agree. It would be friggin' awesome to be able to be a guardsman and be able to customise your weapon set, loadout, and have either like a plasma gun or a chain sword and stuff. That's going to be pretty sexy.
Yeah, well, Elliot, we've got some games coming up, as we said. You can watch one and see what it's like in about a week. Week on Friday, it'll be there, and then we're going to do a whole campaign. Yeah, it is fun. It's a fun, quick game. That's kind of where we're at the moment.
Yeah.
It's fun and quick, which is kind of why we ended up deciding that we would do the giveaway for Indomitus because 40k is neither fun nor quick. No, because 40k is too long for us. It takes too long to play and too long to paint all the models and all that kind of stuff.
And we can't really do it justice on our channel because it'd be like, and this week we're going to play the same 3 squads and 2 characters and 1 tank as we did last week, and there won't be any difference. Whereas a lot of people want to watch, I mean, channels like Mini Wargaming stuff, they've just got thousands of armies that they can play with, so they can make an interesting army every single week, and it will always be something new and different, and they can get guests into play, so they'll have guest armies and all this kind of stuff going, which is just fantastic, and we just can't do that just ever.
No, VJ made a good comment in there, and I've lost it now. He said something along the lines, "Oh yeah, the campaign rules they're designing now are set up so one player can't run away in front and dominate compared to the other systems." Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
they are kind of done. It's very much a personal journey almost, isn't it? Which I could completely see, and I suppose that's why I kind of almost what I meant in the sense that if you have a group of people who want to play together, they maintain that balance because they're all about driving the story and keeping the narrative going. Whereas a lot of people just want a loose framework of battles just to kind of play each other and have a little bit of progression. I think so. I don't mind any of the rules that they've got. I think the Warcry rules were okay, but we struggled to get the content together. Then people like Red Rose just did it so much better.
Yeah,
it seemed at the time it seemed to be better rather than dividing our talent. We should just stick it all in Underworld.
Very limited talents.
Well, exactly, because that's why it's hard to divide it.
Yeah, and also Warcry, it did have a very loose, very mild campaign system, but in some ways that played against it as well, because it was like you have a certain number of people in your warband, and you might pick up a little magic item here or there at the end of a game, but if someone died, it didn't matter because you just got rid of them. You picked someone else up who was identical in every way, shape and form, and there was no investment there, whereas in Necromunda, if someone dies, you've lost that ganger, and then you've got to find new gangers, and you do have that potential issue that as one person does much better, they can pull away and the other person can flounder a bit more, but hopefully we'll make up for that a bit, having the 4 gang sort of the 4-way fight almost, and then it'll hopefully even things up a little bit.
Guess Necromunda gangs. Elliot's dad used to work in he sounds pretty awesome, but he doesn't like the Princess Bride, so
yeah.
Maybe
that's just
maybe a painting factory, but my model painting company. That's pretty cool.
That is one of the things that I think it was Yongjin pointed out, that they heavily house ruled the campaign rules, so that you didn't have, or it might have been VJ said about how one player can't steam ahead and dominate everybody else, and that is one problem you have with campaigns, is that if one side starts to do badly, it can just be terrible, and that was especially the case in things like Blood Bowl and stuff like that as well. It can be horrific if one team starts to get a few casualties and deaths, and it just mounts up.
If Ed the Paint dies, I'm unsubbing, no pressure. At Robin. Okay.
Alex Dodd says the Necron Reanimator thing gives us major War of the Worlds vibes. It really does. I love that thing. It looks brilliant. It does.
And Defiant Nerd still wants to see us play solo Underworld mode.
I mean, Justin did that a while ago, and his video did very well, so...
Justin did one, so maybe we missed a trick there.
Sean says, guess Necromunda gangs. Someone else has pointed out, though, that it is hard to pull that off with stay-at-home rules. I mean, further on down the line, once a lot more of this gets lifted and we are able to get maybe some more guests back in the garage, it would be nice to do a game, although it does take a phenomenally long time to play. So, well, phenomenally long for us. It's like 2 hours for us to play a game of Necromunda.
Yeah, I suppose an hour and 50 for getting Warhammer Underworld.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yes, John, we're going to play 2 games each. Escher, Delac, Cawdor, and the other one Pete's playing, which I've forgotten, Goliath. So yeah, we just quickly go over that again. Silver Tide having a 3+ reanimation. Okay, yes.
Stefan said that he was sad that Warcry didn't get as much support as the other games. I mean, it did seem a very random. Hey, here's a new system. Throwed it, gone, done. Next thing.
And they throw out a load of models and books and things, and then they announce some other models, and they took ages to come. And we've just found, so we have talked about this before, but we just found that and Kill Team, there was just so much stuff almost vomited onto the table in a very short space of time. We just couldn't keep up. Rob Sharp says, would an Underworlds type game for 40k work? I really think it would. And funny enough, we were talking about on the Patreon Discord just before we came on air tonight about ways to get people who aren't into 40k to the table. And yeah, I think that's a potentially tough thing to do. And something like a 40k version of Underworlds, I think, could be a really good way to do that. I suggested Lost Patrol, which is kind of quite good fun and quick to play. And if the person you're playing with doesn't get that at all, then they're not going to like 40k. But if they think it's pretty cool, then they might. And I think an Underworld, a 40 Underworld, could definitely work. But
yeah, I mean, there's no reason why
we talked about Wonderman before, haven't we?
Yeah, and there's no reason why. I mean, in Underworlds, fighters have bows, and that only fires like 3 hexes. So there's no reason why a bolt gun couldn't just fire 3 or 4 hexes. So yeah, I think that kind of thing would be fine. David Wilson asked, is Blood Bowl something we would play more of? I think the short answer to that one is no. I might play some of it online. I might try some online games of it, but you're not a fan.
Need more blood, literally, to play it.
And DJ the Lucky One asks, he hasn't played the solo gang yet. Is it any good? We haven't played it at all, so I don't know if anybody in the chat can offer any guidance there to DJ on that one.
No, I should probably play it, but I just haven't sat down to do it.
I would, but you've got all the equipment and the warbands.
Okay. So it's my fault then, is it?
Yeah, it's all your fault. Well, I'm not coming over this week. You've got a prime afternoon all to yourself there to do that. VJ said, would we consider doing Shadow War Armageddon if we had the minis handy? Well, funnily enough, we bought about 3 copies of Shadow War Armageddon when it came out, because that was another one of those limited edition.
You found 2 copies in the shop. We already have one, and you found 2 copies in the shop and bought one.
Did. And then I went back and bought the other one as well, because the bloke was like... Because I didn't want to buy both, because I was like, that's just going to be greedy. And then I bought one, and then a week later my mate came over and said, he's still got that other copy in the shop. I was like, screw it, no one else has bought it. It's been a week, I'm having it. So yeah, we did get 3 boxes of that. So we do have some of the models, but again, it was... Shadow War, again, was one of those weird ones that sort of came out. They released a flurry of stuff for it, and then they didn't really do anything else with it after that.
Gangs or Kamara would be an awesome setting for 40k Underworld. Yeah, you could see that. I don't know much about Kamara. We played Gangs of Kamara briefly, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
We had our best outtake of any game.
That was where you offered to whack me off. Yes.
We couldn't move about 10 minutes afterwards.
There's an outtake clip just of us giggling like for 10 minutes straight. Yeah, that was
Drukari and Force of Fight. Yeah, that would be pretty cool, because if it was like a more of arena combat, then you could have more primitive weapons.
Yeah,
in the sense that it's for sport rather than for survival.
And it would explain why you've got Space Marines and Eldar and Gene Stealers possibly and Orcs and all that kind of thing all in one place. Gene Stealers would be pretty mental.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see it. I'm not sure we will anytime soon, but I could be wrong. Somebody somewhere, I think it was Matt, said trying to keep the cards together would be a bit of a nightmare.
yeah, it could possibly be. So we are hoping at the minute on our Necromunda campaign, it is going to be Zone Mortalis to start with. I think it's Zone Mortalis, is it called? Which is just the board game version. But depending on how it goes, how good we get, how much, what kind of interest we get on the channel and stuff like that, then we might also then go into the Sector Mechanicus side, because we do have quite a bit of terrain
we do
sitting around that we could then utilise as well.
Yes, Yeah, we do. I mean, I've talked before. I'd love to have the ability and the time to build some great Necromunda type scenery. 'Cause I think it's the best and most evocative of all the games across the whole board. I just love that kind of hemmed in, claustrophobic hive, sort of dirty, grimy look. I'd love to build them. And my scenery building talents aren't very good, but I'd love to build something like that and play on it. I think it would be amazing. See some amazing boards on the Necromunda Facebook groups.
They're just absolutely phenomenal. And I just wish sometimes that, like, one guy made a complete board. It was all one piece and it looked fantastic. I just thought, can I just buy that? It would just look so much nicer if we could just buy. Of course, we then need the models that looked as good on the board, but baby steps and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I kind of the thing I like about Necromunda is kind of how opposite it is to 40k and AOS. That in those you have these massive sweeping armies and massive war machines and tanks and platoons of fighters and swarms of nids and all this kind of stuff, which has its own appeal to me. But in Necromunda it's like 5 people and with some knives and some dodgy grenades, and that's like it. And I really love that kind of aspect. It's got that kind of alien vibe and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like big 40k games are a bit of a young man's game now. I think it's. I mean, it's obviously a generalisation, but when we went, there was that Warhammer World. There was that group of 20-somethings playing a big apocalypse type game with masses of aeroplanes and things on it, and it looked great. But it took like 10 of them all day, and they didn't finish.
Yeah.
And I ain't got time for that.
I haven't got the presence of mind to be able to concentrate on all that either.
No.
I struggle concentrating with like 8 models on the board, frankly. Sean asked how are Gene Stealers in Necromunda. They weren't, Sean. We were talking about a 40k version of Underworld. Sorry to confuse you there. But that would be quite funky.
You
we
should
should do
Gene
that.
Stealer Colts in Necromunda, can't you?
You can. I wonder if you can get a Gene Stealer in.
I don't think you can actually get a
Necromunda.
Gene Stealer. I don't think.
That'd be like a survival episode. Like
That,
that'd be like
I
Alien.
think that'd be really good. I mean, imagine a game where there were just like a group of people stuck on a spaceship and it was filled with Gene Stealers. I mean, imagine a game like that. That would be amazing.
But not Terminators. Not Terminators though, because Terminators are a bit easy.
Yes, not dear.
Oh, Sean said he made.
Somebody talk about back in my day. I think because I think somebody might have asked this in the Patreon chat. What was our first experience of 40k? And I had some Space Marines from way back when. I think possibly even before the rule book came out. I don't even know where I got them from. They just appeared in my collection one day because I'm a thief.
Stole them.
But when the Terminators came out, I just thought they were amazing, and that was my first kind of dabble into 40k. And I never really got into it. I was always a fantasy battle man, but the Terminators were just brilliant. And I think it's a bit of a shame they've been left behind.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Terminator models still look pretty nice now, and you've got the Thunder Hammers and the Power Claws, that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I mean, I don't follow the game enough, but nobody takes them anymore, do they?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'd love to see. Sean's mentioned a co-op Necromunda game where, and I think I mentioned this in the Patreon Discord again, of having like a zombie outbreak of a load of poxwalkers, and then your gang has to sort of like survive for a certain number of turns or something like that. That'd be pretty funky.
It would be good.
And Craig Sargent suggested you play Space Hulk.
Yeah, I have a copy, and I bought it to play with my kids, and they didn't like it. And
Someone
my
likes
son's stolen the Space Marines out of it, and we haven't played since. I had to go around the house and collect them all back up again.
Somebody suggested, or somebody asked a question, I think, in here about. One, Tom Murphy said his question for everybody: how much would you be tempted to buy painted models for gaming use? He loves the painting side, but rarely gets to game. I mean, we are always on the lookout for that option, and quite often our Underworld's warbands get painted by other people, and we use them because we have a limited amount of time. And frankly, I prefer playing to painting for the most part, and I only have time to do one anyway, so I'm always on the playing
That's
side.
really, I enjoy the painting side of it actually a lot more than I used to, but it's just finding the time. Although contrast paints have really helped with that. But yes, quite often when the warbands start coming out thick and fast, we do get our lovely patrons to paint them for us.
Just a quick hello to all the people new who have joined. If you've just joined us, welcome aboard. Don't
We're
worry,
up to
we
91.
haven't.
People must
91.
be sensing it's getting close to 11.
Don't worry, we haven't done the draw yet. We're going to do that at 11. And if you're not on here when we do the draw, well, you won't know because you're not here. So there we go. Do give us a thumbs up if you like free giveaways, and if you like the channel, please do subscribe to us and do follow us, and maybe come on to more of our Tuesday night chats. We're going to try and make them a bit more generic and not just underworldsy, so that we can make stuff more appealing to everybody.
Yeah, do come along. It's really nice to have so many people in and so many comments whizzing up.
It is fantastic.
Shameless plugs like Tom Murphy. You can check out Twin Corsair on Instagram if anybody's interested. Go and have a look. That sounds pretty cool.
Anonymous Jeff did say that he found that the 2D version of Necromunda that we are going to play to start with favoured the Goliaths a bit, but I don't know. I think those Eschers, their poison, their toxin weapons are horrific.
They did change the rules.
They
did change the rules.
They did, but I think in general, the toxin, the ability to use that toxin weapon, where you can take someone out without having to even bother wounding them, is just horrible.
But it was crap before the FAQ. It was rubbish.
Yeah.
The first game we played without the FAQ, you could never use it apart from the actual weapons that were actually toxin all the time. Somebody else pointed out meat to us, pajamas. For the zombie infestation.
Oh right,
it was last week. Somebody pointed it out.
Yes. So I think that'd be a cool one to do.
Insta Glory Hole, always out for a shameless plug.
Johan de Rick asked, do our kids like any GW games? His gaming friends' kids mostly seem interested in a toned down Blood Bowl. Neither of our kids seem interested in GW, and I think it's because we do it. Yeah,
I think it's the problem. We've made it lame.
Yeah.
Into it. I have been playing, it's not GW, I've been playing the Pathfinder adventure card game with my kids during lockdown and beyond, and they are loving that. So there is some hope, but I'm not sure. It's the length of time to play them. And again, Underworlds. My son, I've said before, my son would be brilliant at Underworlds, but he sees it as my thing and isn't interested in joining in.
Yeah. My eldest, he's really into. He seems more interested in sort of medieval stuff. So I've been trying to look out for more sort of actual medieval knight stuff and things like that. So if Warhammer Fantasy Battle still existed, he would have been well into the Empire, I think, and all of their stuff. But that's obviously not really a thing anymore.
That's how I got into it. Yeah. You could try some of the historical stuff.
So I was thinking about that, but it's got to be something that I enjoy, because I think a lot of the historical stuff looks a bit shit. But maybe the medieval stuff might be better. But again, it comes down to cost and stuff like that and how.
So it's a big investment, isn't it? But there's Black Powder, is it? I think Warlord Games. I think the rules for that are written by Rick Priestley.
But I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Rick Priestley of Warhammer Fantasy Battles fame.
Yeah. I thought you'd like that. I thought that would be instant exploding nipples for you.
For me, yes. Yeah. I don't know if that'll get my kids into it though, because it'll be like, right, all we've got to do now, son, is roll 63 dice to determine who has to put the first model down.
Johan de Rick's got loads of Bretonnia for sale. Don't tell me that.
Oh God, don't tell him. Are they all painted? Don't tell him. Don't tell him, Pike.
Sean said D&D. One of my kids is quite into D&D, and the older one is Mr. Literal, and he just can't cope with D&D because it's not. But my youngest, who is too young yet for the D&D, he has got an amazing imagination. So I'm really hoping.
Could you do like a cut down version where you have the stats? Could you have like a version where you just tell them what they're good, great, or rubbish at, and then you get them to roll dice, and you can pretty much do what we always used to do when you were DM anyway, and you just decide behind a screen if it was a pass or fail, regardless of the roll. Yeah,
that's what pissed my oldest off, because he wanted to do something, and I made a roll, it didn't work, and I said, I'm really sorry, that hasn't worked. And he won't play anymore. He said, I did this thing, you didn't let me do it.
But that's like life. Sometimes you want to do these things, and I don't let you do them.
If I'd known that was going to have that effect, I would have let you do it. But
but that's also not the point.
If you want to get them into GW games, just tell them they're not allowed to play them. That's probably absolutely right.
Idea. I was tempted to try and do like a D&D game with the two kids and my wife, and just give each of them a thing, and rather than giving them stats and stuff, just say these are your items that you have, and I'll do all of the paperwork side. Mostly just sort of almost just like have like a narrative adventure game without any sort of dice rolling elements. But I've never got around to doing that.
There's a few good ones out there for young kids.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to make it up completely off my own head. So.
Oh, okay. But there's a few good ones as well.
Someone asked, is Necromunda remotely kid friendly? Only if your kid really likes lots and lots of rules and reading. Otherwise, I'd say possibly not.
Depends how old your kids are.
Yeah.
And if you know the rules really well, it's like most things. If you know the rules really well, then it's probably okay, because you can just talk them through it, and There isn't actually that much rolling, but
true.
And you can cut the rule. You could cut the rules down as well, couldn't you? Don't have to do all the special bits and pieces. But it's not the most kid friendly, I wouldn't say.
No, I'd say Underworlds is possibly more kid friendly.
Yeah, Underworlds definitely is.
And I was just says, well, were our kids ever interested? Is 5-year-olds interested when the models come out?
Elliot says, sorry for being awkward. Could you check if he's in the giveaway? You're not sure if he entered in time.
Elliot Reddings. Yes, I think you are, sir. Okay. Let me just check.
If not, he's just going to keep watching anyway because this is great. Brilliant.
Well, I hope to see you all here next week. That's all I'm saying.
Man always says he has a 7 and a 4-year-old and they're always very engaged. Well, I'm very jealous.
I am very jealous. But, well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. My 7-year-old, well, my 8-year-old now, he's sort of interested, but at the same time, screens are just so much more accessible.
That's the problem. And I've got 3, and so if we ever try and do anything together, it inevitably ends up in a fight, and then that becomes too tiring for me.
Yeah, and Warcry actually is a good, fairly child-friendly one to do, because there's very little in the way of rolling on that one.
Definitely, that's a good call, Pyjamas, because it's quick, it's easy, and there's even less dice rolling. I think that's a
BJ call. Says Necromunda, the only game we have to roll to scratch your butt, and if you fail, they may injure themselves and or die. Wolfman Gaz says without his 10-year-old, he probably wouldn't play very much GW. I always like to hear when there are parents playing with their kids.
Yeah.
I mean, my kids aren't interested in it. I would have loved to get them into it. And my dad was way too old for this kind of stuff when I started doing it, so there's no way he was ever going to get into it. So, yeah, I won't ever have that. But at the same time, in some respects, I enjoy it when we play games, you and I, Robin, because we're on an equal footing. So it's like, it's not no holds barred necessarily, but, there's nothing to say you can't pull out all the stops to try and beat the other person if you get a really dirty combination of cards out in Underworlds or something like that. There's no feeling sorry or thinking, I probably shouldn't do this because they'll just get upset and then they won't want to play or something like that. So it's like you can have a proper game when it's us playing, whereas if I play my kids, I'd probably have to go easy on them.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. So,
but I love seeing how many people are in here who are going on about their kids and the younger ones playing all these various things. I think that's lovely.
Yes. I think I've almost turned them off by being too into it, by having stuff lying around all the time. It's too accessible. I should have told them, like my mum, that it would never amount to anything, and I should stop playing because it was stupid.
That would have been like that. Yeah, that would have been like the most tempting thing in the world. Then. Yeah. Don't touch those models in that box over there, because if you do, bad things will happen. I am getting some of those.
See, Sam Vanderberg says if you get your children to GW, you just have less to spend on yourself. That is true, but you can also justify spending money on it because your children are going to play with it too. It's not just for you. So
you come home with a whole new box set.
And if you've got like grandparents, like what do they need? Well, they need Space Hulk, obviously.
Yeah,
that's what they want.
And you come home with a whole new purchase, and you come with a whole new purchase, and the wife's like, "Why have you got that?" Like, no, this is for child too. He really needs these. But those look like Space Marines, and he doesn't. He collects orcs, doesn't he? Shit.
Red Rose were playing D&D around with Blackjack Legacy.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not playing any online D&D. I'd like to, but again, it's finding that time.
That's the killer.
Do like a get Justin in and Red Rose and Blackjack Legacy play D&D. That would be
yeah.
So YouTube D&D. That'd be quite cool.
We had discussed briefly doing we almost tongue in cheek discussed doing D&D where we would sort of stream a session of it. I think for the most part, all the ones I've ever watched, even those that have a very professional air to them, are a bit crap. If I'm honest, they're a bit rubbish.
Tom Murphy said he used to play Warhammer stuff as a kid, found that he didn't get a huge amount of help from the general community and GW stuff. Oh, that's a shame.
I wonder how long ago was that though? Because I think these days GW is, with the online communities and stuff like that, there is a lot more.
I find in the stores are understaffed to help properly, and there's normally some people in there who take up who are like living there practically.
Yeah.
And then they take up a lot of the manager's time because they have those kind of in jokes and
Or they just sit there all day
Stories
pouring.
about when they rolled lots of sixes and things and
Or they
wicked
just
sick
spend
bills
all
they
their
made.
time pouring through a rule book and going,
Yeah, exactly. But so I have got frustrated in Games Workshop stores when I need to ask them something and you can't get their attention.
yeah, because they're just buried under a load of people who just won't stop talking to them about something that they've worked out that if they take this model and that action and do this, then they can kill people on 2+ with a re-roll, and you're like, okay, lovely, but shut up a minute, I've got to talk to somebody over here who actually needs help.
Exactly. So Simon Vandenberger said he plays Starfinder. Is that any good? I'd quite like to play Starfinder, but again, nobody to play with. But that's the Pathfinder set in sci-fi Pathfinder, which I would like to play.
Elliot Redding loves the NIDS. I love the NIDS. I'd love to. I've seen somebody do NIDS where there was like a black and yellow theme, and I thought that looked absolutely mint, and I loved that. And if I had the time to paint and play, then I would definitely collect something like that. I
wanted to do black and white, Gene stickers admittedly, rather than NIDS, but actually monochrome.
That'd look cool.
But it would do if I wasn't shit at painting.
And then you could offset it with a few sort of highlights of red on claws and eyes.
Does anybody see, a bit off tangent, but Zavastro's Marvel Crisis Protocol, he's just done Ultron. Ooh. In a sort of non-metallic metal, kind of whites and greys, and reflecting the sky, kind of light blues in the upper bits, and then fiery runes in them as well. It's amazing, and the guy's a wizard.
The trouble is, I'm just such a slut for good paint schemes, and I've seen beautiful paint schemes on almost every army. Every army conceivable, I've seen beautiful paint schemes and thought I would love an army in that paint scheme. So for me, I don't think I have a one particular. I'm not as fond about Space Marines, I don't think, but I think for the most part, there are so many different paint schemes that I would just think I could definitely have an army that looked like that. As long as I could just have it, I don't have to paint it because I'd never be able to paint it.
Elliot Reddings is just going up in my estimations all the way through. If he painted it, he'd paint like his pet spider, which is black and orange.
Or black and orange.
Dancing. She's a jumping spider. Pete would not like that.
That would be.
You're not overly keen on spiders, are you, Pete?
Well, I don't mind spiders as long as they don't just suddenly appear next to me.
So as long as they don't jump at you.
Yeah, pretty well.
I had to clear out our porch this week because one of my exciting jobs to do, and there were quite a lot of spiders in there. It turned out.
We were streaming the other week, and a spider literally just came down from the ceiling. Just on its thread, just with all as they do with all their legs out, like just came little down to this. I was like, "Oh, okay, you are really too close. Get away." It's very close. In fact, I wasn't streaming. I think I was recording a game at the time. So, yeah, I was a little jumpy about that.
We've got 5 minutes to go.
5 minutes. 5 minutes before our viewership crashes from 85 to 3.
Yeah.
Now, some people have mentioned about getting their wives into the game, and you know what? I actually like the fact that my wife isn't into this game because I just
don't like it.
Well, it'd just be one of those things where I'd be like, "Oh, I've seen this model, I really want it," and the most likely response from my wife would be, "Yeah, but you don't collect that army, so you don't need that specific model." Oh, and then if I played a game against her and I thought I was going to absolutely crush her, I then got to think, if I crush her at this game, what's the fallout going to be? And I don't think I can be dealing with that at all.
Yeah, there's enough things to get wrong, aren't there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or I'll be like, "Oh no, I'm going to do this with that model." She'll be like, "You already did something with that one." I'm like, "Are you sure?" Yeah, you already did that.
I did get my wife to play Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay once. Well, more than once. We had a little adventure. Sounds ruder than it was.
Obligatory.
But I think that was before we were married and had children and things. But I think she still wanted to not impress me, but at least show.
Unless you realised I'd have to put up with this shit now. Right, you're married now. I'd have to put up with this nonsense.
Exactly. Yeah. We do play the odd ball game. Jeff just said it's nice to have some things to do separately. But yeah, my wife we play. She likes code names, and she's really good at it. So we don't play that. But no, we do play the odd ball game.
Yeah, we tend to play, if we play board games, we tend to play board games with the kids. So we play stuff like Go Nuts for Donuts, and the few that you recommended recently, like Sushi Roll, I think it is, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
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 I'm like that's my level as far as I'm concerned. I don't think I want any more.
yeah,
But then you get some people like Matt who has Loz, who
yeah.
she's into Underworlds, and I think they've got a good dynamic going there as well, which is really nice.
Yes, yeah.
You've got a keeper there, Matt. That's what I'm saying.
Have I played Codenames Duet? Yes, I have. Joe Bingham and I have played Codenames Duet once. I think we have a copy, and I bought it for my wife for Valentine's Day of all things, which was perhaps a mistake. And we've played it once on Valentine's Day, and we haven't played it since. So I need to dig it out. It's one of those things that's got put back on the shelf and then forgotten about, like a lot of games.
Tom Murphy says that the coronavirus restrictions really missed him playing board games on a whim. I think in general, when we were locked down and we were playing Underworlds on TTS, it was okay, but it was a bit like, it was your methadone to your heroin. It was okay, but when we got back in the garage...
I think of a more obvious analogy, but I'm not going to make it.
Okay. But once we got back in the garage, it was so much more fun. I think loads of people commented on our first video just saying you can just tell you were having a lot more fun because there's none of that faffing around. It was just a good game. What are you giggling at?
His only match on Tinder was someone asking if he could play in their Tau army.
Well, I guess that was a yes.
Yeah.
Depends on what they were going to give you in return, I suppose. Wolfman Gaz, we were happy to be back together. It was just so much nicer, and some people rightly commented that we looked like a bunch of prats with the face shields on, and we did.
Yay!
But it was so much more fun being back in the garage.
It was, and I'm hoping that continues into the winter.
Yeah.
Funny, but it's so nice to play properly. And we touched on it again this briefly on the Patreon Discord a little bit. The Warhammer Underworlds Online isn't doing that well, and I just wonder whether you missed that kind of physical interaction, just having somebody opposite you, and the tactile of the models. Just adds literally a whole dimension to the game.
Yeah. I wonder if when they add the ability to add emotes in to communicate with other people, whether that'll help at all. There'll be some connection there.
Yeah, it would help definitely. But I mean, even going to when we've been to Grand Clashes and things, the fun. The game's obviously fun, but the fun of it is meeting the other people there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you just haven't got that. It's a bit too antisocial. But yes, I would agree.
I even with the emote system, it's still a bit disconnected. I'm not 100% sure. I think some of it is just the fact that when you come up against a warband, you pretty much know almost straight away what they're going to be playing, because there's also a bit of a lack of cards in the system right now. So I would love to see it really take off and do well.
Yeah, Joe Bingham says, you think the PC version suffers from the real game moving on and far past the digital? Yeah, I don't really. At the first, I didn't mind that, but now I'm inclined to agree to an extent. There hasn't been enough card releases, because I mean, I don't know when the last card release was, Universal card release was, but in Underworlds, physical game, coronavirus slowed things down, but you pretty much every 3 months you're getting a whole new card injection. And you're not even getting that at the moment in Underworlds Online. So it definitely needs something.
I'm not sure what it is. I think it just needs stuff. It needs more stuff. It needs more warbands, more cards, more ways to communicate with the other person. Right. And I think there should be a way as well within the game to be able to say at the end or at the start of the match, maybe to say best of 3, and then maybe that makes it a bit more.
Yeah,
I think that would have to be at the start as well, because you don't want to lose the first round and then go best of 3, because your opponent's nearly always going to go, no, I already won.
Apparently that last video had the most singing in it. In the garage.
It probably did. I don't think we did any singing. Trouble is, when you're playing on TTS, it's very hard to sing because you can't get the timing right.
No, it is.
But when we're in person...
The whole riff, and you're in the house as well, so people can hear you.
Yeah, when we're in the garage, we can prance around and sing like twats.
Yeah, which we do. It's 11 o'clock, Pete.
It's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. blow up the
84.
chat.
We had 90 people watching a minute ago. We've got only got 84 now.
It tends to blip a little bit. It tends to go along and then sort of change by about. So
they left at the wrong time.
we're going to do a draw in a minute or so. Blow up the chat. Give us a exclamation mark or an excited face or something.
Woo!
Blow up that chat. Once I see that chat blowing up. And give us more thumbs up.
Release those big money balls.
Ooh, what are we talking about? What are we talking about now? That is a record, Matt. This whole thing is a record. I thought it would be because what we're giving.
Look at that.
Blow up the chat.
It's like being Joe Wicks.
I know, it's brilliant. It's exciting.
Never happened before.
I know they're only here because we're giving away like £100 box game, but I don't care. I'll take it anyway.
We tried to get Joe Wicks to do a shout out for my son, whose birthday it was during lockdown, and it was just nuts.
I bet that bastard didn't.
No, he didn't. No.
Chisel pecked bastard.
Am I going to do an exercise routine? Well, there is a void there because he's on holiday at the moment, isn't it? So I could do one.
We could do fat, unattractive gamers do exercise. Right, here we go.
Speak for yourself.
So Robin, can you see
I'm
my?
not unattractive.
Right, here we go. Here we go. Then it's time. It's time. Elliot says he's here because we're cool too. I like you, Elliot. You can stay. Right. So, Robin, can you see the feed? Can you see the feed of us chatting? So you can see the draw as it happens.
Name winner. Yeah.
Excellent. Right. Here we go. Good luck to everybody.
Okay, good. Yeah, good luck, everyone.
So here we go. Here's the draw. Oh, it's me! Hooray! That's a joke. Sorry, had to do that. Total names too.
I'll hand it over.
Hooray! Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm joking. Right, here we go. Here's the proper one. Here's the right one. For anyone who can't see it, 129 people we have entered into this one.
89 people here though, so several people are going to be disappointed.
Yeah, and this is the one problem I have with doing this draw is that we can't give a box to everyone. I'd like to be like, is it Mr. Beast, who does like I don't know. He seems, for everything I can see, he seems to be famous on YouTube for just giving people loads of money. I don't know what he does. I'd just love to be able to give everybody a box, but
we've got a dislike.
Ah, boo!
Come on.
Right, here we go. Definitely doing it properly this time. Definitely doing it. Definitely
Stop talking,
properly.
get on with it.
Okay, here we go. Good luck, everybody. Tyler Etherton. I don't think I've seen Tyler in the chat, but maybe he is.
I don't recognise the name. Is he here? Tyler, are you here?
Tyler, are you here? Tyler, are you in the chat? You have a minute. We're going to give you a minute to say, I'm here, I've won it. But if you don't, we are going to pick again.
I feel bad if he's not here, because he is sometimes.
Yes, yes. But we did say that you had to be here. We only have one person who's on I'm not here, but I will be soon. And I can't remember who that was. It wasn't Tyler, though. So, TikTok Tyler, the timer has started on Tyler.
Does anybody know Tyler?
Oh, Tyler, I'm worried for you. I'm very... Speak, Tyler. Someone call him. Someone give him a call.
He's going to be annoyed tomorrow.
Someone get him on the phone. Tyler Etherton is now a gram of AOSP. Damn it!
Can you get him in here? I could try, but I don't think he's here.
Yeah.
Is he at? Oh, I can't do it.
No, I don't get it at all. I don't get any teas up at all.
Nope.
No, there's no Tyler in the chat. Tyler. I don't want to be this person, but I think I'm going to have to call it out again. And this is the bit I don't like doing, because it means someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. You've got to say you've lost. And I remember doing we did the giveaway before, and it was just I felt bad for everyone. So, Tyler. I am gutted for you, Tyler, but come on, lad. You got like 30 seconds. I think we'll give you 30 seconds left. Odd name for a Russian bot. We did have a few people comment that said, I really want to win this, but I'm not going to be able to make it on the night. And I did want to say something to comfort them, but at the same time I thought, sorry, that's the rule.
Yeah.
Just the way it goes. At some point, you've got to be the person to say no. So there we go. I'm afraid that's it, Tyler. We're going to have to go again. We're going to have to pick another name.
Okay, please
Or
be
Tyler.
here, next person.
Sorry,
Although
Tyler.
maybe it would be better if he wasn't, because Tyler's not on his own.
Well, that's true. But here we go. We're going to pick again.
Here we go.
Are we all
What does F
ready?
mean? I'm so old, I don't know why everybody's saying F.
F. Type F in the comments for... I don't know why it's F, actually.
Okay.
I don't know why it's F. F. I don't think it's F for fucked it. But,
How so is it fail?
okay. I don't know what it is. Someone tell us, and I'm going to draw again.
Just
So
F.
here we go. Sorry, Tyler.
Stump me, Mother. I don't mind not knowing what it is now. Then.
Here we
Okay.
go. 1, 2, 3. Bing. If it's Tyler again, we'll have to change the...
I'm running behind. Oh, here we go.
Noops. I don't think I've seen Noops either. Noops, are you on? Noops. Are you on Noops?
Is there a spoon in the house?
Spoon.
Noops.
I don't know if we've even got Noops.
This is why we insist on doing it, because I don't know. Unless Noops, he could be sitting quietly.
It could be. Could be. I think the F thing, yeah. Elliot's just said the F thing comes from a Call of Duty game where you press F in it to pay respects for a friend. And I think it comes to the whole QQ thing used to be from years ago of people crying about stuff. And QQ was like the two... It was meant to look like two like eyes with the tears in them or something like that. Oh, okay. Let's start the count. Noops, you have a minute. It's another Russian bot.
What if Tyler comes in now?
It's too late. Too late. You got to be here at the time. Russian bots everywhere. I think Noops, he even only left his comment like today, I think, from memory. Okay. I'm sure I saw him get added. There's a lot. There are a lot of people missing. Etalar's just said a lot of people missing. There are. We've only got. I'm not going to say only. Only is not the right thing. We have 92 people watching right now.
Something is fishy.
Which is fantastic. 92 people watching. I don't think we've ever had that many people.
I've never seen Noops. Like Tyler, I've seen on comment on things and before. But Noops, I've never seen.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to pick another one.
I think we're going to have to pick another name. So
23, which is more than we've had all evening. So this is as good as it gets.
Yes.
Who's it going to be?
Here we go. Right, third time's the charm. Hopefully. So Noops and Tyler, you have my commiserations. Let's try a third time round. It should be removing the names every time as well. But
I'm going to say you're taking out the names.
Yeah, I think it automatically removes it on this. But if they do come up, I'm going to repick straight away. So here we go again for the third time. Third time's the charm. Here we go. Ed Hillar, I just saw you comment. Ed Hillar.
Ed
you
Hillar.
are in
Is there
here.
an Ed Hillar in the house?
Ed Hillar. Do we have an Ed Hillar? Anybody? Ed Hillar. Ed Hillar.
Yes! Yes!
Yay! Ed Hillar, you have won. Congratulations, Ed Hillar. There you go. I want to say I'm sorry to every single other person here who hasn't won. Ed Hillar, can you please comment on the YouTube video, the original YouTube video, with your email address, or if you want to put it in this chat here right now, and I'll take a copy of it, and then we can get in contact with you to organise the postage. Do need your email address though.
Message on Facebook, I guess, if you'd rather do a private message on Facebook.
Well, the problem is on Facebook, it's hard to tie them up.
Is it? Okay.
Because we don't know that you know Mike Smith is Ed Hillar or whatever. So
I see what you're saying. I was thinking he might not put his email address.
Loz is crying. I'm sorry, Loz. Hopefully Matt can get you a cup of cocoa.
Oh, I've got it. He's actually given it here, and it's hidden.
Aha, it's hidden, so we don't even need to show it.
Yeah, brilliant.
So,
I did not know he did that.
That is good.
Clever.
I guess it's to stop them posting links to stuff that they don't want people seeing. So before we call it a close there, just want to check with you, Ed Hillar, you are aware that you do have to pay the postage and you're happy with that? If you are, and we're in the UK, if you are happy with that, then we can run on that one.
Cheers, Ratman's off to do his homework.
Yeah, I can't blame you, mate. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully we'll see you again in the future. He hopes Ed Hillar lives in Australia. That's just mean. But also, you know, fair.
Yeah, sure. Okay, he's up for postage. Excellent.
Cool. Okay, we will send you an email tonight before I go to bed. And
Yes.
we will be in touch then. So there you go. Congratulations, Ed Hilar. You have won. And also, just to check, you want the whole box. You don't want to split it or give any part of it away. No pressure to say you want to split it here. You're more than welcome to the whole thing.
The whole thing. And if you want us to sign the box, we can. Or if you want us to... I don't know what else we might do.
I don't know what else we could possibly do to it that would make it worth less than it already is. Undead Pank asked, what made us stop playing Warcry? I think it was just the fact that they splunged loads of stuff out straight away on it. Yeah, I'm very sorry for the 2 previous winners. I definitely feel very bad for them. I feel very bad for everybody who came along tonight and watched us for an hour.
Thanks everyone.
I do really appreciate every single one of you joining us tonight, and I really hope that you'll be back.
I feel bad for everyone who watched us for an hour together in a sentence. I think that's a bit...
And I do hope that we will see a lot of you again next week to chat about all things hobby related. We're going to try and make them much more generic, less Underworld specific, unless there's some really specific Underworlds news, of course. So do join us again, same time next week, Tuesday nights.
Hey, Sean came for the chat, came for the giveaway, and stay for the chat. Excellent. Yeah, excellent. Hopefully we keep this fun chat up, because it is nice. It's really nice to have extra people in the chat, because it keeps it going.
Yeah, Nico said he had fun, so I just love chatting with all you guys. And obviously, it's always nice to be able to give something away whenever we can.
Yes.
And I realise I've gone completely off the track of why did we stop playing Warcry, and I think it was just because they splunged out so many different things really quickly. And for me, I think we said this before, that it fills the same void as Underworlds. It's fantasy. It's kind of a bit, if I'm going to play fantasy, I'm going to play Underworlds rather than Warcry. And
sorry, cheers, Elliot. If he's off, he's going to keep watching. Oh, brilliant. No, he's not off. Ignore me.
He's just saying that he'll see us next Tuesday as well.
Yeah.
But he'll see us now too.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said about Warcry, Pete. It was very similar content, and actually not as easy for us to make. And keep the variation going. I think that's really why we dropped it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And I didn't mind that it was quite a simple system. I really liked that it was a simple system, actually, in a lot of ways. But in some ways, comically, that also was the problem, in that for the campaign setting, there was no fallback. There was no problem to having someone die. There was no reason to be worried about that, because they would just get replaced with somebody else identical.
Yeah, that didn't bother me though, because we didn't even really start playing the campaign stuff. I just found the games a little bit, and I enjoyed them, but I didn't enjoy it as much as Underworld. I think that's what it comes down to. I didn't enjoy it as much as Underworlds. And if you can't say to me, which do you want to play, then I'd say, well, I'd rather play Underworlds. And then we might do a trade-off. If Underworlds got a lot less views than Warcry, then we might think, well, okay, we'll play Warcry, because it's still an okay game, still a good game, and people will watch it. But actually, the Underworld's videos were outstripping the Warcry videos, so it seemed like playing something that wasn't as much fun, that I didn't know as well, for less return.
Yeah. So someone asked, when will our...
finding Underworld's frustrated. Why are you finding Underworld's frustrated, Undead?
Roderick Pommier asked when we'll be playing Necromunda. Well, there are 2 games recorded now. One of them's already out on Patreon and will be coming out on YouTube a week on Friday. And then hopefully we're going to get more content out. We're going to get a bit more, maybe of a 50-50 Underworlds to Necromunda mix there to get things going. And we're going to be playing 4 warbands in total. Escher, Goliath, Cawdor, and... can I remember the other one you play? Delac. At least to start with in a campaign system, and if it all takes off, then we will add in some other warbands. Maybe we'll add in the police. I can't remember what they're called, but the enforcers and the Khorne ones, or maybe just the other 2 generic warbands that we haven't done yet, the Orlocks and the Van Saar, maybe. So yeah, we'll be mixing it up a bit on that one, hopefully, and another a bit more interesting different angle there, so hopefully people will be happy coming along and listening to us chat about that one as well. Somebody did mention that Warcry, did they not fix the campaign system with that Champions book? And to be honest, I didn't read it. I'd already sort of got turned off from it a bit by that point, but maybe that's something we could go back and have a bit of a nose at, maybe. We do have most of the warbands painted and all the scenery done, so
Yeah.
you never know.
So what was that for? I was reading the comments. It's quite a lot. It's a war cry. Okay, there's quite a lot of comments flying in about Underworlds, and because I actually think the game's more balanced than it has been for a while with the new far list. I suppose Definitely. A third possibly still might not exist, might as well not exist, but that's 2/3, and it does rotate. I know some of the older ones are not so good, but I think it does rotate. You can warbands that were really strong a year ago now aren't, and warbands that were rubbish like the goblins play really well at the moment. But I think that's the nature of any game. If you look across any game, I think the new stuff is stronger than the old stuff. I mean, we're not just Games Workshop games. All companies constantly bring out stuff to make you want to buy it. I've often thought about doing a video about it before. I've talked about it before. I think capitalism ruins good games because you have a really nice balanced game, and then because companies want to keep selling stuff, they bring out more and more bolt-ons, and the games gradually get bloated and less fair as time goes on to entice people to buy it. I think that it's the nature of most games, but I think Underworlds is after the far list. I think Underworlds is in a good place.
I do agree with his comment that the Beastgrave seems a bit of a lame setting compared to Shadespire and Nightfall. I think that I liked the idea of Shadespire and Nightfall a lot more. The Beastgrave setting did seem a little naff to me, but I almost don't think about the fluff aspect of Underworlds at all.
No, I barely pay it any attention at all. I don't mind it. If anything, I preferred it to Nightbolt, if that makes sense. I really like Shadespire, but Nightbolt just seemed a bit like, it's still the same, but it's a little bit different.
It's a slightly different room.
But Beastgrave it's moved it on a little bit more. So I think I almost prefer it to, although I love Shadespire, I think I prefer it to the kind of Nightbolt thing. I don't know. Chosen Axis came second out of 17 at a tourney the other day. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the new file list, like you touched on, the new file list really has mixed up the warbands again, and I think you could be playing almost anyone right now and have a good chance. Because I just think there's so many good cards got chopped out that there's now so much more room for other cards to possibly shine and other tactics to possibly shine. I think there's a lot more option out there than there was 2 months ago, for example.
Yeah.
Pajamas Gagarin says that our Underworlds videos are the best he's watched on YouTube. Since he loves Necromunda, he will definitely be looking forward to your plays. Well, don't expect the same level of tactical genius.
Not yet, anyway.
Or rules adherence, for that matter, in the first few games, because we have recorded literally almost every game of us playing, so it is very much a learning curve. But hopefully, once we get into the swing of things, we should be getting a very similar level of quality between the two.
Pete's attention to detail on the video deliveries is high, so the quality of the content itself shouldn't change, but the actual quality of the games might good to start off with, but hopefully we'll correct that. And somebody, Jan, I think, was saying he doesn't want the Underworld's content to drop too much. I don't think it will. I mean, Pete and I are going to make a concerted effort to ensure that it stays up and just try and bring in Necromunda as a bonus, mainly because we want to boost the reach of the channel and get more and more people watching, because it makes it more interesting for us to have more people engaging. So that's what we want to do, and obviously if it works, then we've got more incentive to make more time to do both.
Yeah.
Because that's what we really want to do, and there's more justification for putting the time and effort in to do both. So hopefully both can coexist very happily together, and we will keep doing Underworld's content. I mean, I think Pete and I are probably both in a little bit of a Underworld slump because of the far lists to come out, but I think we're desperate for the new warbands to come out, and when they do, I think probably we'll have a good solid swathe of Underworld's content, while Necromunda drops back a little bit to the
keep talking, Robin. I'll be back in 1 minute.
A couple back to back. Picked off. I'll keep talking. We recorded a couple of Necromunda sessions back to back because we know that in August the new warbands are coming, and so when that comes, we're going to want to hit the deck reviews and looking at the cards and all that kind of stuff, and playing as many iterations of the warbands, existing warbands, as we can. So that's kind of why Underworld Necromunda might seem like it's our focus at the moment, because it is. But in a couple of weeks' time, it won't be. I like the fact that you, Elderhar, thinks that our Necromunda games will be boring. Well, I hope they'll be boring, because then they'll want to play that game as well. Yeah. Undead Pank says his close friends have not played Underworlds for a whole year. Feels like the game is brutal on you if you dare to take a break. I think that is sadly true. But again, I think it's probably common most games of this type, is it? I haven't played very many, but I kind of feel like all the collectible card type games, they all are, oh, it's a constant rolling meta. And if you step out for a while, you're kind of screwed. But at least if they have a rotation system, so at least if you end up a year behind, you don't have to worry about the year that you missed eventually. But yeah, I do appreciate that it can be difficult. If you want to be competitive, or you want to play in a sort of very more serious arena, because obviously there's nothing wrong with printing and proxying cards.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do amongst friends, or possibly even club nights, some places probably don't mind too much. So yeah.
I noticed that Pajama said that he didn't mean that our Underworld games are full of tactics and sharp mind games. So it's good that he's watching us for the right reasons, and don't worry, that aspect will not change.
No.
Dan Pinckney says that Necromunda's great, can't really go wrong. Dan, will you come on the show at some point and play us with one of your Necromunda games? Do you have one painted up? I mean, I've been watching all your other stuff that you've been posting up of your painted stuff, and your Sisters of Battle stuff is fantastic.
Oh, where's that?
I've sent you a few of the pictures before, I think, on our chat, so they do look fantastic. So obviously, once we're past this social distancing phase, it would be good to get other people back into the garage to play Underworlds or Necromunda.
We have to get one of those big diving suits with the diving, the big diving bell on them, like the helmet, like the Iron Golems have for the garage.
I think you mentioned with Undead Pank about, you do, if you want to be competitive, you've got to buy everything really. But if you just want to play with mates, you can print cards. I still think it has a lower entry point than almost any other system in GW's range.
Yeah, I think it probably does, and certainly it's less or more resistant to FAQ changes as well, because you've kind of bought everything, so you've got a whole set of everything. So if they suddenly nerf, because I mean I don't really play the big games, but you hear them, Siege come out and they're brilliant, and everybody goes out and buys those, or the power gamers do, and then they nerf it, and then they've just spent £200 or whatever buying an army that now isn't very good, or isn't anywhere near as good, and they get very salty about it. Yeah. At least this way, if you bought everything and they nerfed Thorns of the Briar Queen, then so now Thundrix Profiteers are much better, then you've got Thundrix Profiteers already sitting there ready to go. So I kind of like that.
Not only that, if Thorns got nerfed to hell and Thundrix are the new hotness, everybody's Thundrix is the new hotness, and everybody's Thorns is the new POS warband. It's not just your particular build that's been broken, it's anybody who's using that. And we've talked about that before, about how if somebody does make a army list, well, not an army list, but a deck list that's absolutely phenomenal, anybody can copy that with very little effort. So there's very few ways that people can just abuse the system. Yeah. So thank you to everybody who was still watching us after all. I thought we were going to drop a lot lower than what we did. 47 is still fantastic. So thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. It's been a great show, and I've been especially happy to be able to give somebody at Ed Hilar a copy. And we've got another $5 Patreoner. Woo!
Have we?
Gerard McCann. Thank you, Gerard, for joining us. I hope you enjoy your stay.
It's very exciting. I was going to say something. I didn't realise there was a pauper format of. I thought it was going to say paper.
Paper format.
Pauper format of Magic. I'm kind of interested in that because I quite like the mechanics of Magic, but I've just been put off by the.
What's a pauper format? Is it like?
But it says that you. It's a great format with only common cards being legal, so decks are super cheap, and it's non-rotating, so you keep your deck. That kind of interests me. I might look into that.
So I think, we could still talk for another hour on all this stuff, but maybe we want to keep something for next week. So I'm hoping a lot of you who came along did enjoy tonight, even if you didn't win. And I'm sorry for everybody who came along and didn't win. If I could, I'd give everybody a copy of the game. And maybe one day when we're big enough and successful enough, we will be able to, but sadly not right now. But if you've enjoyed things, do like and follow and subscribe, do all that good stuff, and do let us know in the comments of our videos what you're enjoying, what you want to see, and follow us on Facebook, do all of that good, social media-y stuff, because that's how we can help connect us to you guys and girls, and we can then start doing all the stuff that you guys want to see.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, always looking for feedback and ways to improve and give people the content they want. So we've got a couple of questions coming in.
Let's answer them. Let's go for it.
Yeah, Vanderbilt is looking forward to watching more of your channel. Brilliant. That's what we like to hear. I like EDH, but it can get expensive. I don't know what EDH is. Is it like the latest drug the kids are taking?
It can be expensive, but it's worth it for the high.
Okay. Oh, cheers, Elliot. I'll try and remember your email.
What was that for? Sorry, I missed that.
Just give me his email if I ever want to fancy a pauper game or need help giving it a go, getting into it.
Anybody wants to get hold of us at any time, you can email us at agentsofsigmar@gmail.com.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you ever want to get in touch, or via Facebook, you can also contact us via Facebook.
Pretty good on there.
Yeah.
And then Pajama Gagarin says, "What are your thoughts and predictions about the new season for Underworlds?" I think that's a whole new video. I'm not going to go into that at 11:30, but I think it's going to carry on being in the Gur, and it's going to have elves and some of the Osirek Bone Reapers in it. There you go. There's a couple of predictions for you.
Yeah, I think that will definitely fill up a whole episode for us to talk about as we get near the time. Hopefully GW start leaking a bit like they normally do, and start giving us some of those little teasers. And maybe, as was pointed out right at the top of this chat, maybe we'll try and give a few more, do a few more videos around how we think things are going.
What kind of elves? I have no idea. I don't know much about elves, but I'm going to go with the Lumineth. And I reckon it's going to be something new. Like, how the Wild Hunt are kind of different, aren't they, to everything else? There's going to be something new as well.
How are the Wild Hunt different to everyone else?
Well, there isn't an army list.
I see. There's no AOS army yet for the Kurnoth, for the Banoffee trackers.
Yeah, there's going to be something else.
Yeah,
I reckon. Idoneth. Yeah, I'd like to see Idoneth.
Yeah, I think we're missing Idoneth. We haven't seen Idoneth yet. Slaanesh, we haven't seen any Slaanesh yet. We haven't seen what was I going to say now? We haven't seen. What's the other? We haven't seen the Bone Reapers. We haven't seen them yet.
No, I think what I really, really, really want to see is some Free Peoples, but we won't. Free Peoples and Lizardmen will be awesome.
Lizardmen, definitely. I'm almost definitely sure we're going to get Lizardmen in the next expansion now. I'd love to see Free Guild, but I don't think we'll ever see them, unfortunately.
No.
Which makes me sad.
No.
Spider Riders, maybe, but we've already got Gits on Wolves, and I think Gits on Spiders would be a bit repetitive.
I don't think there'll be Spider Riders. I could be wrong. But
I agree. I don't think there will be. The Cow Elves, I think, could almost definitely be in there. Slaanesh, almost definitely in there.
Slaanesh, they're the only one we haven't really seen, aren't they?
Yeah. See, Phalanx has said Bone Splitters, but we've had an Orc Warband Season 1 and an Orc Warband Season 3. I don't know if we'll be likely to see an Orc Warband Season 4.
Empire Witch Hunters, yeah. Bretonnian. Nobody make the thingy joke.
Robin can only get so erect.
So nobody make the there already is a Bretonnian Warband joke. But yeah, Bretonnians would be cool.
Which one's those? The skeleton, the Sepulchral Guard.
How does an Lord of the Rings warband fit in with the lore? Nice. Hobbits.
Robin doesn't know, but he'd be damned if he's not aroused by the thought.
I still don't know what EDH is.
Oh, someone explained further up. It's something dragon something. Elder Dragon Highlander. It's a magic format where you build a deck about a legendary creature. Sounds quite cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, magic will be something that will be great to tap into, but one of those things. There's so much expertise in the field that it's almost impossible for somebody starting to get into it in a YouTube way because we just know nothing.
But
be like,
mind you,
budding naturalist going up against David Attenborough.
That is true, although I'm not doing any more naturalist videos with you. You fooled me once, I'm not doing it again.
That's naturist.
Oh, so why were we naked then?
I'm naked. I'm still naked now.
I do feel that there's a lot of people watch us, maybe not because we are better than all the other content out there. I think maybe we just have a certain something sometimes.
Maybe.
That the people enjoy watching.
Yeah.
But again...
Need some silent bug people. Yeah, I don't know much about them, but they would be quite cool, silent people bug men. They might be the new warband, the new thing that don't really exist.
Like the Kernoth.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. Could be.
I am hoping to. I wasn't going to bring this up. I didn't want to distract people because there's still a few people on. I am hoping to bring this onto the channel.
Oh, here we go.
We can play solo. Well, I can play solo.
I feel that anything that doesn't have both of us maybe detracts from some people's want.
I know, yeah, I know, but I could play solo. Playing solo means that we don't have to both be in the same place at the same time.
That is true. If we could find a few things where we could play solo, I could do something on my side solo, you could do something your side, and that would be more content for the channel.
Yeah, but the interesting thing but again, I thought this game, but again, I started investigating today, and there's just a ridiculous amount of, not so much video content, but just a ridiculous amount of expertise and people who are really into the game and know all the probabilities and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. I'd like to give that a go. But I did actually listen to a review of it today, which suggested that actually it's better as a solo game than a multiplayer game because it's a bit like two solo games going on next to each other when you play multiplayer.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see. We'll see how we get on.
We've had a few requests for the Underworld solo as well, so...
Yeah, maybe I should do that. I have to say, and I didn't want to say it, but I'm going to say it now. I find the GW solo rules a little bit lacking, so I haven't been tempted to play it. But maybe I should do it.
But some people, people want to see it just as they want to see us play it. They don't care if it's swingy.
No.
Jim Forrest Fellow says that he's played a fair bit.
You do all the setting up, the videoing.
Oh, I see. Now the truth comes out.
Yeah, there is that too.
I mean, I don't know how long the games take, but maybe we could do a solo game after our next meetup, after our next Necromunda game, perhaps.
Potentially.
Maybe.
Potentially, yeah.
Maybe. I could then just keep an eye on the rules for the creature thing, and you could play against it or something like that.
Matt didn't find the solo game great at all; just wasn't entertaining, so he canned the footage. Interesting.
Because Justin did a solo game. I think he might have done a couple of solo games, and they seem to do really well. So
I think that's probably because there isn't much other content out there that's covering it.
But the problem I've found as well, and Matt's pay attention to this, what I'm about to say, is I find sometimes we do stuff and I think, this is crap, no one's going to want to watch this, and then it does really well. And I've learned to realise that it's not about what I want to watch. I shouldn't record stuff that I want to watch. I should record stuff that I want to play because other people want to watch that. They don't necessarily have the same tastes in viewing that I do, because when you think about it, neither of us really ever watch battle reports online. So
no, but if I don't watch very many. Don't have the time.
No.
So I'm reading Elliot's comment. Elliot's my new favourite person. He's just saying lovely things about us now.
Elliot, you should check out Patreon. I'm telling you, even at the $2 level, getting Patreon, you can join us on the Discord. We're chatting shit all day, all night. You can join us on there. We share painting tips, underworlds, all that stuff. It's all good. And you get the added bonus of ad-free, week early. I'm just saying, it's there. It's there, mate.
It's right there.
It's just right there.
Actually, it's worth it. Oh, brilliant. Well done, Elliot. Fantastic. Right, it's 25 to 12, which probably means it's time for bed.
Yes, I think we're gonna have to say goodnight, and thank you to everybody who joined us tonight, and my sincerest condolences to everybody who didn't win. I wish everyone could have won. In some ways, you're all winners in my eyes.
Which is almost as good.
Which is nearly fucking worthless. But what can I do? I can't do anything for you. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you next Tuesday. We haven't picked a topic yet, so if you think of a topic, just let us know.
With the Agents of Sigmar.
Hey.
We should have just called ourselves the Agents of Shitbar, really, shouldn't we?
Well, I tried to work out whether we can change the Tuesday night live to something like Two Geeks or Two Nerds Nattering or something like that, because it's just Two Nerds Nattering, something like that, So do let us know if there's a topic you'd like to talk about. It doesn't have to be Underworld related, general hobby stuff. Does hobby stuff do better? I think maybe so. Maybe our Tuesday nights need to be more generically hobby related rather than Underworld related.
I'll let you know how I got on with Marvel Champions, maybe.
So thank you everybody for tuning in. Stay safe out there, and hopefully we'll see a large, sizable chunk of you next Tuesday.
Yes. Cheers. Cheers, guys. Do come back next week.
Bye.